Hello everyone. So my name is Stuti Pathak and I'm back again with another video, which is why periods get late. So this is a very important topic, especially for females, and this is related to women health. And I wanted to address this because this is something which most of the females face in today's scenario, and I wanted to address this particular issue. So let's get started with this particular presentation. So why periods get late? So here is the first reason, then stress and emotional overload. So when you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, and high cortisol can suppress ovulation because the body prioritizes survival over reproduction. No ovulation is equal to delayed period. This basically means that if you are very much stressed, okay, then your mind and your body is very overloaded with lot of stress, anxiety, and it has lot of pain in it. Okay, so when body has lot of pain, what happens is that your body automatically recognizes this pain and it releases cortisol. It's a stress hormone basically. So here now body thinks that reproduction is not very much important. What is important is survival. So it will start releasing the cortisol. So whenever there is a cortisol release in the body, the ovulation gets shifted. Okay, and when the ovulation gets shifted, the period also gets shifted. So there is a change in the menstrual cycle here. So this is the reason why periods get late. Now let's move on to the second reason. Okay. Second reason is emotional hormonal imbalance. So as I said, emotional imbalance. So when there's a hormonal imbalance, there's an emotional imbalance also, which can also called as mood swings. So your cycle depends on the balance between estrogen, progesterone, luteinizing hormone, and follicular stimulating hormone, thyroid hormones. So these hormones are basically responsible for the menstrual cycle, and it is also responsible for pregnancy. Even slight imbalance like thyroid dysfunction or PCOS can delay ovulation. So if these hormones are not balanced and they are imbalanced, so obviously there is a delay in the ovulation. Again, when there is a delay in the ovulation, there is a delay in periods also, because there is a shift in the cycle. Well, let's move on to the third point. Poor sleep pattern. So late nights, screen exposure, or irregular sleep disturb melatonin and reproductive hormones, affecting the cycle timing. This basically means that whenever you have poor sleeping patterns wherein you're not sleeping properly, so obviously there's a disturbance in the circadian rhythm. So where there's a problem in the circadian rhythm, the brain thinks that sleep is something which is very much important and it is being denied, and it is not being maintained properly. So it stops the reproduction, and basically it again goes into the survival mode. So when it goes into the survival mode, again the ovulation time shifts and period shifts, and obviously there is a shift in the period cycle. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide. Sudden weight gain. So obviously if you are changing your diet plan, and if you're changing a diet, if you're changing a nutrients, if you're changing your food habits, obviously it affects your hormones, and when it affects your hormones, so obviously there's a change in the period cycle. So rapid weight loss, crash dieting, or significant weight gain affects estrogen levels. Very low body fat can stop ovulation temporarily. Okay, rapid body changes directly affect hormone production. Now let's move on to the next slide. Over exercising. So what happens is when you over exercise a lot, you are giving a lot of pressure to your body, and when you give a lot of pressure to your body uh, does not actually get sensitivity or softness from you. Okay, you are being very hard on your body, and when you are being very hard on your body, then brain signals or brain senses it in a way that reproduction is not important, because reproduction requires softness in the female's body. Okay, intense workouts without enough nutrition can signal the body it's under stress, delaying ovulation. Again, the stress has now occurred again because of the over exercise, because you're giving a lot of pressure and tension to your body. It's equivalent to stress only. So, too much strain can cause reproductive signals, it can pause reproductive signals. Now, the sixth point is travel and routine changes. So, obviously, again, your sleep cycle gets disturbed because you travel a lot. If you're traveling in the foreign countries, so obviously there will be change in your period cycle, because the timing over the foreign countries is very different. So, this is what happens when you're traveling and changing your routine, because your circadian rhythm and your internal body clock gets changed. Your cycle follows your body clock. So, time zone shifts or sudden routine disruption affects your internal body clock, which influences the hormonal rhythm. Now comes the nutrient deficiency. So, if you're not eating well, or if you're not taking healthy diet, if you're not taking balanced diet, so obviously you will not get periods, because that endometrium lining has to be there for periods to occur. And if your body is not producing enough blood, so there's no generation of endometrium lining. And endometrium lining can only be generated if you have high levels of iron, vitamin D, B12, and magnesium. So if there are low levels of iron, vitamin D, B12, and magnesium, then it can indirectly affect cycle regularity. Low nutrients can weaken hormonal imbalance. Now, the last is pregnancy. Obviously, if you are pregnant, if you're sexually active, then obviously you will not get periods, because that endometrium lining is now used to nourish your embryo. Embryo is basically when the sperm and the ovum gets fertilized, then it becomes a zygote. And when the zygote gets embedded into the endometrium lining, it starts, you know, getting growth. And when it grows, it forms into an embryo. It's an initial stage of a baby formation, but again, it needs nourishment. So, nourishment is there through the endometrium lining, which contains blood. So, when you're pregnant, there's no shedding of the blood. So, henceforth, no periods. So this was all about that why periods get late. I hope you really like this particular presentation. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe my channel. You can also contact me on Instagram, and the Instagram ID is on the slide, which is Healthcare for You Forever. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.